Welcome back to the Dota Radio Morning Show, presented by Dota Radio, the internet radio dedicated to Dota 2. Make sure you visit us online, folks, dotaradio.com/morning show, and don't forget, you can always write into us, morningshow@dotaradio.com, morningshow@dotaradio.com, the public email for all of your requests, comments, and all of that other good stuff. Finally, we're back with the real crew. I'm Zyori, your show host. We've got Hippie on the analysis desk today. Chris, how are you, my friend?
A little stuffy, but I'm good. There's a lot of awesome things going on, so I don't think I can be anything but happy for the next, month. So,
yeah,
I'm pretty pumped up.
It's a good time for Dota, good time for Dota Radio as well. And we're back with our Master of Communications. We saw him on Wednesday, got his account of all that Dignitas drama. Monolith back with us here. How are you doing today, Charlie?
Fuck Dire Tide. I'm good.
Oh, and that takes us right into our first talking point. Hashtag Fuck Dire Tide, the topic of discussion today. No, not quite. We do have a lot of stuff to talk about, though, guys. We're going to be looking at the patch. This is pretty much exclusively talking about the new patch that was released yesterday, I guess, yesterday evening. We are going to have our guest Cyborg Matt joining us to talk about the patch a little bit and a plethora of other information. Believe me, with someone that deeply rooted in the Dota scene, we've got lists of questions coming out our arses. There is a Reddit thread up as well. You can post some questions there. I will be referring to that. And we're going to do an open Q&A at the end of the day. We'll see how time treats us, but I think we might be a little short. But I always say that, and we usually go over our hour mark anyhow. So there may be an opportunity for some open Q&A. Get your questions ready. Raise your shadows. So a couple of points I want to make before we get into the patch topics today. First and foremost, today marks the completion of our first full month of Dota Radio morning show coverage. We've done 3 episodes a week since we started. We have yet to miss an episode. Guys, I think we deserve a little golf clap for that. I'm so excited that we've held in there. We are continuing to improve, and we haven't started fighting and bickering and arguing about money yet. Things are still hunky-dory here in Dota Radio land.
Yeah, speaking of which, when do I get my $10,000 you promised me for
Speaking
being
of
on
which,
this
when are the
terrible
paychecks
show
coming?
you designed? God,
So it's
I
exciting.
can't believe I'm doing this.
But it's awesome. A first full month, I'm glad, and a few people have said to me, man, when you first announced this project, I really didn't think that you guys would have enough content to talk about, and somehow you've done it. Every episode you come on with interesting stuff to say, you keep me enthralled, and that means a lot. That means a lot from anyone who said that, and I have to say, the audio-only downloads up, and up. We were holding 200 per episode. Now we're up in the 300s. The last 2 episodes both had over 300 downloads apiece. So big shout out to you guys, man. The Dota Radio supporters out there. Those of you that like the audio-only format, enjoying the simulcast, we're enjoying you. You know what I'm saying? In other exciting news, Dota broke 600k concurrent users online amongst the shuffle of this new patch and Dire Tide. I guess that's exciting. That is a new benchmark for Dota 2. Bittersweet, I guess, that Dire Tide was probably the source of said influx of people, but what are you going to do? Right? What are you going to do? Other new... Oh, go ahead, Charlie. Were you going to say something about Dire Tide?
No. It was actually me.
Chris, what you got?
I just want to point out, not only are we at 650,000 users, Dota 2 currently accounts for more than half of all traffic on Steam in terms of gameplay. We are literally beating the combination of the rest of Steam in terms of players.
Yeah, that's exciting. That really is exciting. Dota, man, it is the future. I'm excited for all things Dota. And the way they're going. On a similar note of how things are looking in the future here, I've got a tweet I want to share by none other than Adam App, our good buddy over there at MLG. Guys, there is but one VIP pass left for MLG Columbus. It's a Dota 2 VIP pass, I guess I should say. They already sold out and added more to the docket, and there's one left. These bitches sell for $250 a piece. I'm blown away that they've sold so many of these VIP passes. I mean, maybe it's because it's the first event, people are excited and all that stuff, but traditionally, MLG I don't think has been too successful with their VIP passes. It's truly been just a couple of people here and there that want to be VIPs. They give them out to people more so than selling them. $250 for a pass. I mean, yeah, you get the backstage. It's a cool opportunity, but wow, Dota fans, they're really into it. MLG must be thinking right now, damn, these Dota fans rolling in the dough.
Look, man,
$250 is
all I have to say is, wouldn't you pay $250 for a chance to go hang out backstage and meet Burning? Because I would. I'm all about Burning, man.
I want to say yes, but That's a lot of money, man. That's like
It's true.
a
It's
plane
money I
ticket.
don't have. If I had that money, I would happily pay that money to go hang out with Burning and just be like, hi, I kind of love you.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. It is cool to be able to go backstage and network and stuff. It's just a lot of money for a pass. And someone said you get a hoodie. Okay, that's cool. I mean, I could use another hoodie. Maybe I'll get one when I go. But I don't know. Charlie, are you a VIP? Do you have one of these fancy VIP passes? I'm sure it was given to you and not purchased, but you are an important man. Or do you just wing it? You show up and everyone knows who you are, so they just open the door and roll out the red carpet.
I don't know about that yet, but I will be going and
Did you buy a spectator pass yet?
No, I'm just going and I'm showing up and they're rolling out the red carpet for me. So
That's my plan. I actually haven't bought a pass yet, and no one has told me if I should buy one or not. And I don't want to shell out $35 if I don't have to. But
maybe you should ask Adam
at the same time,
if you need to do that.
That
maybe
feels
you should just
so
email
tacky.
Adam.
That feels so tacky. Like, hey Adam, I know that I said I was coming, and you guys would like to have me there. Curious if you'll hook me up with a free pass because $35 is a lot of money to me. Let me know. Thanks.
I mean, it's it's the thing. Like, I think he'd rather have you ask than have you show up without a spectator pass and be like, "Hey, why don't you have a pass?"
Be like,
Sorry?
hey,
come on now.
Well, you can buy them on site, I guess. You could just wing it and wait till the. Will they sell out of I don't think MLG has ever sold out of spectator passes, have they? Not that I can remember. Although,
yeah, not that I know of.
that would be crazy. Are we like close to that happening for this event? Am I gonna get boxed out here? Oh god, all right, I gotta send some emails after this episode. Jeez. So it's exciting. Everything's going well in the Dota world right now. And before we get into the patch, there's one other thing I want to plug. We had the fucking Mad on, a fabulous guest, one of the best guests we've had so far on the show. And he wrote a really great blog. We did not plug his blog on the episode on Wednesday, so I felt a little bad about that. His blog is great. It is 7ckngmad.wordpress.com. And he wrote his most recent one about how to snowball in a Dota 2 game with all sorts of graphs and bold and characters and pictures and all sorts of good information. So I implore you guys to check it out. Support those that are supporting Dota 2. The fucking Mad. He's really not that mad. The name is a bit of a misnomer. An awesome guy. And the one last thing I needed to correct. Charlie, you didn't correct me. Resolution is replacing Scandal on Empire, and I had said that Resolution and Scandal are both leaving Empire. Totally misspoke there. Somebody tweeted at me and called me on it. My bad, guys. I did indeed misspeak. Scandal leaving Empire and Resolution replacing him. Gonna clear the air on that one. I done fucked. My bad.
I thought that's what you meant.
Yeah, well, it's what I should have meant, but I definitely... I went back and I reread the article and I just misread it. I know Resolution's not on Empire. Brain farts. What are you gonna do? So I clear the air there. Let's move forward. We're going to trudge forward straight into the content, though. Let's talk about this patch a little bit. The Three Spirits patch was released. Lots of new stuff. There were 2 new heroes. The biggest one we're going to talk about is Diretide, though. Diretide, belated but still here, November 14th to the 28th. That's 2 weeks, folks. 2 weeks of Diretide action. You got to stock up on those rares, but oh man, the drama continues. You know, top of Reddit was, please Diretide. Then it was, oh good, we're getting Diretide. Now it's like, fuck Diretide. People are now mad that noobs are queuing the fun game mode that is not competitive and not trying their absolute maximum hardest to beat the Roshan time. Isn't the point of Diretide to have fun? I'm a little befuddled by this whole, Diretide, please, stop noobing up my noob games. It's just, I'm convinced that people just like to complain, and it doesn't matter what you do because they're going to complain and bitch and moan regardless. Valve didn't put in the competitive version of Diretide. We didn't filter out the noobs that aren't going to try to farm candy. What are we going to do about that?
Well, I think I mean, I know that Charlie's answer to everything is fuck Diretide, and I don't disagree with that. I have zero interest in playing it, but on the other hand, I know there are people who do actually enjoy the gameplay, and I'm not going to tell you, oh, you know, you're not allowed to play Diretide, even though I kind of said they probably shouldn't have put it in. But basically, I think the biggest problem with how Diretide is running right now is the fact that it has these extra bonus rewards, that it has these items that, you know, last year sold for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I think some Golden Baby Roshans, did they break $1,000? They might have.
Wow.
They were ridiculous amounts of money.
Way more than 1,000.
Yeah.
Dude, I need
Thank
to
you,
get in this
Charlie.
golden Roshan. 1,000. We can do a lot with $1,000.
we could upgrade some streaming machines.
Dude,
with that,
those are our VIP passes right there.
Yeah, I could have been at Columbus if I had a baby Roshan. But then I wouldn't be, first of all, then I wouldn't be able to get to stream it, which is going to be an absolute blast. But, it comes down to you have this incentive, and they know that this kind of stuff is going to happen every time. That's how they're going to pull people in. That's how they're going to get people to come into the game and buy these items, is by having these ridiculous incentives. And even in TF2, where the incentives were these like silly items that were like completely worthless pretty much because everyone had them all the time, it didn't change the fact that you come in, you get free items, and it draws people in. So then you get to the point where if all people want from these modes is the items, and people are like colluding to try and get the items, they're trying to farm stuff, and they don't really give a shit about any of this, then the people who actually just enjoy playing the game mode are screwed. Yeah. And that's what's happening here right now. We have people saying, look, I am one of that minority that enjoys Dire Tide for the game mode. So now I don't get to enjoy it because 9 out of 10 people in my game are literally flaming me the entire time trying to farm items.
Right. Yeah, I have yet to queue up a game of Dire Tide, honestly, partially because my back hurts.
Hashtag fuck Dire Tide.
Yeah, but I mean, I might play one, get in the action. I don't mind rares. I'm not as adamant as you guys are.
Man, that whole master of communications thing? You said he's like got all these connections. He's so important. He's gone.
Charlie's gone.
Up Dire Tide, he's out.
These Dire Tide empathizers. I mean, I'm apathetic. I don't think it should implode. I don't want to throw the Dire Tide code into the oh god, what's the name of that thing in Star Wars that they throw Jabba the Hutt into? The Sarlacc. I'm not for throwing all things Dire Tide into the Sarlacc, but. I just don't really care about it. I'll play one or two to say that I did. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, well, I mean, you said that Dire Tide is a fun mode. You're supposed to play for fun.
It's supposed to be fun, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you have all these people complaining, but regular Dota is also supposed to be fun.
And it is
people
fun.
And people still complain about that. And now you've thrown items in the mix. It's like...
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm of the opinion nobody actually enjoys Dota. There's just been this Stockholm syndrome that we've built up over so many years. Like, oh, this is the best game ever. And just brutally abuses you. Everything about Dota is designed to make you hate yourself and hate everyone around you. But we keep playing it. I'm going on 8 years now. I'm still playing.
There's a degree of truth to that. There's that phase you have to go through where you still haven't really yet to kill anybody and you really suck, but you still want to keep trying. That's painful. You end every session with, I hate this game. That you wake up and just want to play more, and then you finally kill somebody and you're like, this is awesome. I killed that guy. I fucked that guy up. It's such a good feeling when you get that
is like
first
a
kill.
horrible, abusive.
It's like a high. It's like you finally got your fix.
Yeah. Oh, Dota. So, alas, there was much more to this patch other than Dire Tide. Dire Tide was actually just, but a little bit in the girth of this patch here. Oh, God, Dire Tide. I can't get away from these overlays. 2 new heroes. This is really one of the more exciting parts that we get to talk about here. It's sort of, it's called the Three Spirits patch. And, let me go full screen here. We're going to take a look at some screen cap actions. So first, Storm Spirit. He got a makeover. Look at that. Whoa, he's looking awesome. No more nipple. And I was sad to see that his nipple is disappearing. I saw that shout out on Reddit. I think I got it open. No, that's not the right one. Oh, there it is. Look at that. That Storm Spirit nipple. No longer going to be a thing. He went legit. He went full on. He looks like Raiden from Mortal Kombat. Doesn't he a little bit? I guess he always has. To some degree.
To an extent, yeah.
With the hat. Same hat.
I think he's... Well, I think the original Storm Panda was largely based off Raiden. I would believe, because, he had that same hat. He was a panda, but he had a similar outfit. And so...
Who owns the rights to Mortal Kombat? Are we going to start a lawsuit here?
No.
No.
No. Considering, I don't know. But, so they tried to maintain at least a little bit of the Storm, some of his distinctive appearances, while not blatantly making him a panda, so that Blizzard could try to sue, because Blizzard is...
right.
Let's just say I'm not the biggest fan of Blizzard recently.
Oh yeah, pulling out the lawyers indeed. So Storm Spirit, he didn't get any actual changes though, as far as I can tell. He's the same old ball of lightning that he always was. But he's got two new friends now. We've got the Earth Spirit, and the Earth Spirit is the strength hero. He's kind of like a Tusk meets Storm Spirit meets Elder Titan kind of a thing. He makes some stones. He's got some disables. He's got a big boulder that rolls towards enemies. I don't know how that's any different from Tusk's Snowball. Maybe it's just him instead of his allies. But to me, he seems kind of like a Tusk-like hero in terms of his play style, where he goes, that kind of mid-snowball-y, rolling kind of a guy. And then we've got the Ember Spirit. This is the agility-esque, well, he is agility, the carry-esque guy. He kind of reminded me of a little like Illidan in Warcraft 3. He's got the Flame Guard, which is like an immolation, sort of pseudo-Lincoln Sphere BKB, protects him from magic damage. Kind of a deal. He's got some chains. He's got some angry sleight of fists. I don't know. He was kind of interesting. I don't know where he's going to fit in quite as well. But two new heroes. Very exciting. And these two heroes are not ports from Dota 1. That is correct? Or
No, you're incorrect. They are definitely ports.
They're
They're
in
Dota
100% ports.
I don't follow Dota 1 anymore.
They're
man.
like they've been out for a bit.
Ever since
they're
that Frostworm guy came out and I got him in a Dota
remember.
1 AR, I said, all right, fuck this game, fuck these new heroes, I'm going to Dota 2 where I don't have to worry about this. So, all right, that's exciting.
Shannon Cowlin. Cowlin is, I think, wasn't Cowlin in the most recent Dota 1 patch along with Oracle? Wasn't he that set of heroes, or was he one earlier?
I want to say he was one earlier, but it might have been. I want to say he was.
He's
one
pretty
earlier.
recent. He's in like the last set or the second most recent set
okay.
of heroes. Ember Spirit's been around for a while though.
All right, I'm
He
glad
was
you guys
around
are here.
since
Because
Winter Wyvern patch, I think.
Good.
He
Well,
came in with Oroth.
yeah, it's like we're talking about League of Legends, man. I don't know. I really don't follow Dota 1 anymore.
I follow everything just to make sure I know what the new heroes do, even though, I mean, as far as analysis goes, I have no idea really where Ember and Earth really are going to end up. I don't know how incredibly strong they are, but I can vaguely figure out what roles they should be playing.
Yeah.
I'll have to play around with them more. I love Shin, man. He is a blast to play, just teleporting all over the map and then just sleight of fist, kill everybody.
Yeah, it should be interesting. So, two new heroes now making their way into said Dota 2 scene. But alas, there are other changes. They added this new in-game coaching mode. So now, if you want to teach your friends your skills, you can watch them play, and you can coach them through it. And what's cool about this is Heroes of Newerth did this already. They did it a while ago, where they added that kind of coaching. You can spectate people live. And they can see your mouse, and you can talk to them, and you can ping for them and stuff. But what's cool about this one is you can actually coach a 5-man party. Now parties go up to 6 slots, and one person can be a coach and just watch and tell them what to do. And that's pretty cool. I kind of like that. It adds a little more... what's the right word I'm looking for here? Some realness to having a team coach, a manager watching and kind of showing you what to do, helping you in your scrims, actually making that role a real thing, not just a guy that sits around and bullshits, or girl, bullshits around with Dota with your team. Kind of a cool feature. I like it, although I haven't tried it out yet.
Yeah, it's not something Valve is... go on, Charlie.
I mean, I like it a lot too. It's just, it also opens up a really cool tool for players that want to coach, or professional players that offer their services for coaching.
Yeah. That was where I was thinking. I was like, now we've got the option for kind of some improved revenue models here, where there is, like you said, a real viable way for people to offer coaching services, which is awesome. That's, is there a big market for coaching, though? That was something that I couldn't quite wrap my head around. Are there a lot of people making money doing coaching right now?
Angry Testy made his living coaching and boosting people
Right.
in Han. Like,
Right.
I mean, he was one dude in a game that somehow ended up gravitating to him because a whole lot of other players left, so there wasn't a lot of competition, so he could make it work. But I mean, Dota's a bigger game. Maybe you want to be coached more by someone like if I was to pick my ideal coach, I'd pick like Burning or Black, someone who's really good at telling you, okay, go farm here, like Havost, go farm here. You can be aggressive and get a kill here. No, you're wasting time, shit like that. Why are you chasing that? Mm-hmm. But some people would want to be coached by someone like, Dendy or S4. It's like, this is how you make the big freaking plays, man. Just destroy people in mid, kill everybody.
Yeah.
And so I think that the variety of players, I think this could be a thing. And I think especially because if players with organizations maybe organizations can, say, okay, you need to dedicate like a 3-hour block of your day to coaching, and players might not love it, but the players who are good at it and who, do like it can pull in some serious revenue, and maybe they can get their salary
Yeah.
picked up.
Hey, you can charge a pretty good hourly rate, especially if you're one of those high-profile people. I'm sure there were people out there willing to pay $30, $40, $50 an hour for your time, for Dendy, S4, those kind of people. They're popular, they can charge whatever they want. So it's an interesting feature, though. I like anything that helps deal with the learning curve of Dota. And on that same note here, they did actually improve the new player experience a little bit. Now there is like a last hitting challenge that you can do if you're new, so you can improve your last hitting and that kind of stuff and get the feel for it. And they did something interesting in Limited Heroes now, where, of course, Limited Heroes, there's like 20 heroes, the easier ones for newer players to practice in before they go into the real thing. Now, if someone disconnects from that and leaves the game, which happens pretty frequently, as new players care very little about their leave percentage, they get replaced by a robot. So at least there's a bot in the game, and it's still a match for the people to continue practicing and play around. There's small changes, but I like it, because I think that's one of the areas that the MOBA genre in general has dropped the ball more so than anything else, is new player experience, how difficult it is to come in, and how eager people are to flame you for being bad and all that kind of stuff. Any kind of tools that we can give new players to entice them to enjoy Dota and not just get flamed in their first match when they pick Lich and go 0-27 in their first match. I like it. I'm a fan. But the most interesting thing about this patch, I think, really the core content perhaps, is this new socketing stuff. So now these items that everyone's fighting over in Dire Tide have 5 sockets, not just Dire Tide, all items. They have 5 sockets, and then you can disenchant all of your unwanted items that you get, all those junky uncommons and such, and then you get dust, and then you can make those into gems, and then you put the gems into your items, and your items can do all sorts of different stuff. Oh man, it's getting more and more complicated with these goddamn items that I just don't do anything with already. I don't trade them. Well, I guess I use them, but I don't know. What you guys have any take on this whole socketing craze here that's coming up?
I like that I come out. I like that I can bounce my strange modifiers around for a nominal fee. That's something that I will like to be able to do. Because previously, back when I first started Dota 2, I largely started playing nothing but Invoker because I thought he was the coolest fucking hero ever. And so I made a big deal about getting like a full set of strange gear for him to make sure I had all these tracking things going on. And that meant that I had the first Invoker set ever, and it was all strange. It was so cool. And now there's a million Invoker sets, and there's some of them that are really cool, but I don't want to give up my kill counts and my Sunstrike kills and my Tornado kills and all that stuff.
Right.
So now I can bounce that stuff over to a new item if I get something cool. It's pretty nice.
Yeah. It's pretty cool, and it's a little bit I don't want to say confusing, but it's a lot of information to swallow is probably a better way to put it. And I was going to try and make an overlay encompassing all this, but I decided that would just be too much. So there are the basic types of recipes that break down like what you get. It's sort of like they turned Dota into the Herodric Cube from Diablo 2. That was like what I was picturing in my head when you read this. So now you can polymorph things where you take 2 of any rare and make them into a different rare, or you can take a common and a wave crester and then get a random uncommon. So you can do all this weird stuff with your items, but the different gem types, I think, are what's really important here. You've got kinetic gems, which give your hero a different animation when they have that item on. You got the inscribed gems, which are similar to the strange items, as you were just talking about. And I think strange no longer exists. They changed that to inscribed, which, way cooler, I guess. They've got ethereal gems, which give you a different particle effect. Prismatic gems, which colorizes the particle effect on the gem. Then you've got ascendant gems, which I don't even know exactly. They track your victories. They give you gifts. That's awesome. Then you can get autograph runes now, where now you can make your item signed by Dendy or signed to whoever you want. I don't know exactly how they come about, like how you get autographs, but that's interesting. And then you've got spectator gems. And this item tracks how many games you've viewed in it's getting way too complicated. That's what my takeaway was. Jesus Christ, you thought MOBAs were complicated before. This is like pages and pages.
The more complicated they make the crafting system so that people screw it up, the more money they make when people buy the utilities that let you fix it.
There's a degree of truth to that, I suppose.
I like it. Like, I mean, it's like it's one of those things that they're adding that keep people playing, that add
Right.
progression to the game.
Right.
But you know what would do that even more? Ranked matchmaking. I think
Yeah.
this is like you know a minor solution to what people have been talking about for longer.
Do you have like a
Like
cat on your desk that is molesting your microphone?
does it sound really bad? It's the
Yeah,
same mic that I've
it's
been
pretty
using
bad
this
today.
entire
it
time.
sounds terrible. It sounds like you're scooting it around the desk like playing hopscotch or something.
I will go fix that, or try to at least.
All right.
I
No,
like how our master of communications has by far the poorest sound quality.
oh, the world of irony. Oh, indeed. You're right though. That is true. That it does add a layer of depth to keep people coming back. You know, it adds something to the people that play Dota. Maybe are a little bit bored. They're not competitive players. It gives them something else to do in the match, which are in the game, which I think is definitely needed. Because there are absolutely times where I think to myself, you know, I'm just not in the mood to try hard. You know, and I don't want to queue up a game just to throw. It's not fun to lose. What do I do? If Dire Tide was there, maybe I'd queue it up, you know. But now, if you're not feeling that, you can just play with your items. You can craft, you can decraft, you can sock it, you can unsock it, you can make things sparkly, you can make them glitter. Oh, the particle effects. It's just a world of fun, you know. It's a bucket of fun. So we'll see
One
how
of
it
the things I
works.
really like is actually the fact that you can now take the custom animations from items that had them and put them into other ones, which is really, really cool, at least in my mind. So, you know, if I have, you know, again, I have one of the very early Windrunner sets, which I picked up because I was playing her a whole lot as well
Oh.
alongside Invoker. Was the Sparrowhawk set, which gives you like a bunch of custom animations. When you have the set, you got a custom power shot animation. She has a lot of bows with custom power shot animations, so you can now pick the bow you want and have the animation you want. It's just a nice little thing to make sure that people have everything they want out of their cosmetics.
Right, right. That's true. That's a good way to sum it up. I will say we're about to go into part 2 here, guys. Cyborg Matt gonna be joining us in just a couple of minutes. The worst purchase I ever made in Dota 2. It was very, very new. The first item I ever bought. It was a white Phantom Lancer weapon, literally white. I bought it for like $4. Worst purchase of my life. I don't even use it. It looks so ugly. I at the time I thought items were really cool and rare, and worst purchase of my life, man. I hate that thing. I use it to. I don't use it just to protect. I never play Phantom Lancer either. Why did I think I was gonna play Phantom Lancer a lot? He's not fun at all. It's the worst, the absolute worst. So, all right, Charlie, are you still with us? Are you like semi? Are you alive?
He's trying to fix his
He's
mic
still trying to fix it. All right, cool. Well, that's great. So don't go anywhere, guys. Part 2 of the Dota Radio Morning Show, episode number 12, going to be coming up in just a moment. Cyborg Matt going to be joining us. Don't anybody go nowhere because we'll be right back.